Hey, Pearl, how are you today? Hey, and here's Minnie. Look at that pretty flowers I just planted. What? Oh, you're right. I almost forgot. Another day of SoulCARE.
Hey, SoulCARE. Hi, everybody. How are you? Happy Monday. And it's March 18th, a bit of the Irish Day yesterday. Happy St. Patrick's Day yesterday. And I think in Ireland they celebrate for a week. So I'm keeping that tradition. I should have a green hat, but I do have my green cup. There you go. So nice to be back with you. I wasn't in last week. A lot of stuff going on, moving, happening, changing. So let's see. I put the comments on. So we're doing a lot of Facebook Lives to help with the not being on here in SoulCARE. And happy Monday. Hi, Jen and Donna and Stacy and Kamakani. Hello. I'm gonna change, as I've been talking about earlier, gonna change things around with Both Sides Now Beyond, which is my show tonight with Kelly White. We're gonna change that. We're gonna change SoulCARE. And we're going to make it more mainstream in that it reaches more people, because more people need to become more aware, I think, of these things. I've heard from lots of people from outside. I'm going to say the outside world, people that are first timers. And they said, I wouldn't have found you except someone told me about it. So you should have it where it's people can just like Google your name. It comes up. So we're going to change that. It's going to be my regular podcast. So we're going to change SoulCARE, and I'm going to come up with a name. Any suggestions you have? So any suggestions you have, let me know if any good suggestions you have for a podcast, because this will be a podcast, and we'll have guests, and it'll be me as well. But again, originally I started this back when COVID first started, so years and years ago. And so hello, Bernadette. Hello, Ark. Hello, Jody and Mickey and Marisol. Thank you, Alva, Fiona, Joanna. Hope you're all doing well. It's a rough time right now. We start eclipse season. That's coming up, and it's a little rough starting the season in April. So Kelly White's going to talk about it tonight in our Both Sides Now and Beyond at 6:00 tonight. Bernadette says, James, can you please let me know if my spirit team has any guidance for me, because I'm so overwhelmed and done with life? Well, Bernadette, I'm not going to do that because it would be not fair to everybody else. But I will tell you this. And I wrote about this just in a forward, which I'm going to read to you guys in just a little bit for that I did for Kelly White's book. But, it's the hardest lessons are reserved for the most advanced souls. And just take a breath and don't let it overwhelm you. Your spirit team is always around us. Our guides, our loved ones in the spirit world are always there to help us. They walk right beside us, helping us, inspiring us. So the more you can open up and be inspired in that, you open yourself up and kind of get to a neutral space in your mind, and not get into the emotional part of it. What are people thinking of you? Don't go there. Get into that space of, that Buddhist saying I love, which is, you can't push the river. You got to let it flow. You can't push the river. You got to let it flow. And it's really, really true, because you got to neutralize all that stuff. It's all that human stuff. So remember, you're a soul having a human experience, not the other way around. So going into your own soul power and making the right choices for your soul, and knowing you're going to get through it. You're going to get through it. It's hard. It's a hard human world, but you're going to get through it. The universe conspires for our highest good. So I just want to tell you that, okay? Brenda, is this because a podcast, how will we access it? Still on Facebook? Yes, still be able to get on Facebook. Still the same way. So do not worry, Brenda. That will be fine. You'll still be able to get in the same way. And I'll make sure of it. And how many people here are students of mine at my school, JVP School of Mystical Arts? Just want to tell you some stuff going on there. If you're a student, you let me know. Angel, the challenges learning get tougher with each reincarnation. I'm an old soul and have feeling this one is pretty hard. Yes, Angela, it's so it's really interesting. I'm going to read something which very much talks about this. As you evolve, your lessons evolve. So you learned about the ABCs in first grade, but now you're going to learn about, creative writing, or, you learned your numbers, 1, 2, and 3. Now you're learning trigonometry. So as you evolve, your lessons evolve, and there's no end to it. We are limitless, but you can do it, because we are indeed created. We come back here in this earth life with everything within us. It's so funny you guys talk about this because I'm going to read this to you in just a second. So it's really interesting validation. But we come back with everything we need to get through those lessons inside of us. Every soul, I call it soul essence, soul power. And tonight's show on both sides now is all about how to assess that and use that, because we need that. We all need that. We all need to know that we're not alone, that within us we have the ability to confront these things. And don't let it overwhelm us. Just let's step back and breathe. I believe, when I was ill in November and December, pretty ill, near death, I would say, double pneumonia and so forth, it was moment to moment. And I just kept on repeating to myself, moment to moment. Don't get to that human thing of fear. It's moment to moment. Just live the moment, breath by breath. You'll get through it. You're going to get through this. It's a condition. And Spirit often says conditions often change. They can change. It happens. Things are moving all the time. There's no stagnation, not unless you choose to, right? The other night I did readings Friday night for Eating with Spirit, and there was a lot of victim consciousness with certain people there. A lot of them not able to forgive. And when you're not able to forgive and move the energy, you get stagnant and you don't grow. And we're here to grow. So it's counterproductive for us to be here and be stagnant. So things will change. Seasons change, conditions change. It's not always going to be the same. So just know that you can handle it. It might look hard, but you can do it. It's an illusionary world. I find it's very difficult. For me, the most difficult part of it, people to me have been really, really hard, the way they behave lately. And I don't know if it's just getting older or generational, but the other day I was at a Japanese restaurant, my friend Julie, and we were having lunch. I had sake, which I haven't had in 25 years, which was nice, and a nice noodle thing. And there was a family across the way, and it was a man and woman with 2 children. The children were the girl was probably about, I don't know, 7, and the boy was about 9. And the boy was like running and screaming and whatever, and the parents weren't doing a thing. And there were other people in the restaurant. And at one point I said, "Be quiet, young boy, young man, be quiet." And he was crawling up on other booths and tables, and the parents were letting him do it. I'm like, this is a public restaurant. Everybody needs to be respected. Please, we don't want to hear that anymore. And he actually looked at his dad, who didn't say a thing. Dad didn't know anything, had no response. And the little boy's, "Daddy, the stranger just spoke to me." So it's interesting because you wonder how people are parenting. So I think the way humans have been changed, or since COVID, and I think things have changed. That to me is the hardest part. But again, it's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to grow. So that was an opportunity to teach that boy that, guess what? This is a place where public people are involved. It's not about you, and also by obviously the parents. And you need to be responsible for your children in a public place. Think of other people. So it was a learning opportunity, and it did it in a graceful way, in a stern way that they understood it, but in a graceful way. So anyway, you never know. There are always opportunities. Ellie says, "I believe the yellow light that I could see as a child was showing me a path of my life. Lots of loss. Now I envision." So it's interesting. Lots of loss, but with lots of loss comes lots of gain. Now there's the white light around me that keeps me safe. What do you think? I think, Ellie, we're always safe. And I think if that's going to, in your mind, that with intention that keeps you safe, then it will. You always are safe. There's nothing to fear but fear itself, as Roosevelt said. But it's a human thing. It's a very human thing, right? It says fear is of the human world, not of the spirit world. Only love is of the spirit world. Fear is definitely a component of this human existence. And you're a soul having human experience. Okay. Sharon, James, love you. Thank you, Sharon. Love you back. Sometimes I feel like I exist both in the human place and the spirit realm. Is that crazy? Not at all, because you're a spirit having a human experience. And I just am cleaning out my library, actually, and I'm doing spring cleanings. I'm getting rid of some books and giving lots of friends other books, and I'll bring some in next week. I have a couple of really great ones. One is a Krishnamurti book, and it talks about that exact thing. So next week I'll bring that in here and read it to you. It's really, really cool. But you're many bodies. There's a spiritual body, an emotional body, the light body, the mental body, the physical body. They're all this. You can't see the other bodies, but they're existing. So you're all of that. They're all of that. So, and in this Krishnamurti book, I was reading about love, and I just opened up a page, and it says love is love. And if you think about it, that's not love, because that's your mental part thinking of it. It just is. It's very, very interesting. But we'll get into that more later. Okay. Hi, Lori Smith. Good to see you again. 4 years ago, COVID emerged and you started SoulCARE. Yes. You brought us together every single weekday. Yes. What a magnificent creation. Thank you, Lori Smith. Good to see you again. Brian says hello, by the way. So I want to let you know that. Pagans. Yes, pagans. I think we're all pagans. I was a pagan, definitely. Sarah, pagans are interesting, right? You learn a lot from pagans. Sarah, Jeremy. Hi, Jay. Okay, here we go. Melissa, hello, JVP. Here's my question. Can dreams be a sign for you to know that your parent, their loved one alive, be okay when they come back from the doctor? I don't know if what I'll try to make sense of that, Melissa. So if you have a dream and it's a sign that your parents going to be okay, then they should be okay. It could very well be. Very well be. Okay. Patricia Stanko. One of my past lives, I remembered that I was a white witch. I'm wondering if I'm in this life. Can you please answer that? I'm sure you were. I'm sure we're all some kind of into the mystic arts in some way. I don't think we'd be here on this page if we weren't, because it's an attraction to us. There's an affinity there. I think we all dabbled in all those sorts of things. We always just got to be careful to not put the religious aspect into it, because religion talks, well, I know I was raised Catholic and I was very much against this sort of thing and the dark magic and Satan and all that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in Satan. I don't believe in demons. I don't believe in evil. I think that's really just human creation. It's not God created. It's human. God is not human. God is a universe. God is an energy. We use it maybe to understand it, conceive it better in this three-dimensional world, but it doesn't have to be. Okay. So, okay. Joe, so glad to tune in today. How does the ego tie into victim consciousness? Well, it's good. Ego, edging God out, right? EGO, edging God out. So victim consciousness, it depends on what you're holding on to. You're not that. You can be a suffering soul, SS suffering soul. You could do that. You're not meant to suffer here. None of us are meant to suffer in any way. Going through certain things, we can see it as suffering or an experience, right? But victim consciousness, to me, if someone holds on to something that they don't need to, they choose to hold on to it. That becomes their life. Eckhart Tolle talks about the pain body. And I love that explanation because it's a pain body. And a lot of people like to live in the pain body. And sometimes it's for attention. Sometimes they'll get more attention from people. They use the pain body. They'll get empathy or people feel sorry for them. But they'll find that eventually it doesn't work because people get tired of having a victim. A victim consciousness is limited. It's stagnant. Again, it's not moving. So it's presented to the soul of that to learn from that experience and be better then. So for instance, I remember there was a boy that was killed by a drunk driver and his mother wouldn't forgive this drunk driver who lived. The boy died. And the boy came through and said, "Mom, you have to forgive him. It's a lesson here." And she goes, "How could I? You're my son. How could I? He killed you." And he said, "Well, you don't know, Mom. You don't know all of it. Maybe in another lifetime I killed him. You don't know it." And he said, "If you don't have the energy of forgiveness for this person, you're blocking your own life." And it's true. There's like a wall that goes up all around us, and energy it's hard to get through. It's hard for our life to be animated when you're holding on to that stuff. It just gets stagnant. So that's really what it's about. It's like letting go of that and seeing it for what it is and let it go. Again, you can't push the river. You got to let it flow. If you choose to hold on to that, not forgive, it not only affects your physical body, your mental, your spiritual, your emotional, your light body, right? It'll affect all of that, but also all the people that you interact with in life, your family, your friends, so forth. And, there's a wonderful expression of the sins of the fathers are bearing, I'm paraphrasing, are on the children of the other, the other generations, sins of the forefathers. It's in the Bible. I'm not a Bible person, but it's true because I've been told that if you can't forgive, it might fall onto your children, that same energy, and then it gets to a generational thing. So we got to take the high road and do the best thing. That's why we're here, to do the best possible using love in all those situations. Love. You never can judge another person because you don't know what their background is. They might be very limited. They might not know what the difference is. You know, I go back to that when Jesus, my Catholic background, on the cross, if that happened, right? The resurrection, the crucifixion, and the two robbers were on his side and said, Father, forgive them. They don't know not what they do. Meaning also the people that crucified him. And it's true. It's true for all of us. We don't know what they do. Forgive them, but they don't know what they do. We don't know. We don't know the backgrounds. We don't know how they've come to that point. So we have to be better then. We have to live by example. It's very, very true. Okay. Lori Clark. Hi, Lori. Good to see you again. Is it unusual for a person to have an Indian spirit guide? No, it's not unusual. It's not unusual to have all different types of guides. There are guides that are intergalactic guides that you would recognize as a humanoid, but they'd be, as we call, aliens. But they're light beings. I've had many of them when I was developing. So they're all different types of guides, as you as a soul are. You're just identifying with this human part of you, but you're part of the stars. You're part of many things, many life forms. You know, this is just one small part of who your soul is. Your soul is probably part of all of that. So just be open to that. Okay. Hi, Maria. Do souls get bored on the other side? If you feel joy, peace there, why come back and reincarnate? They don't get bored. That's one thing they don't get bored because they're busy, busy, busy working, studying, expanding, learning, teaching. A good friend of mine was Audrey Meadows, who was on a TV show called The Honeymooners with Jackie Gleason. Some of you remember that. And she came to me in November. I helped her. We were friends for a while and helped her pass when it was her time in 97 or 96. And she came to me and she said, I said, what are you doing over there? And she said, I'm teaching philosophy. I said, oh, that's fantastic. She goes, oh, yeah, because you have all different souls of all different levels. And sometimes if you didn't do something on this earth that you wanted to do, teaching or play a musical instrument or paint or whatever it might be, you get to do it on the other side. And also you're helping being a guide to people on the earth or other planets and galaxies and places. So you don't get bored. And this human earth, there are many places we can go back and incarnate, but it seems that this human earth is the best place at the moment that we know of to come back to because you have souls of all different levels, baby souls, older souls, medium souls. And because you have all those different types of souls, the diversification, it forces different scenarios to happen and certain behaviors to take place. So then we have to go back within ourselves to figure out what's the best choice to make with this individual, with ourselves. How can I impart knowledge and light and love to that person? Forgiveness, kindness, compassion, understanding. So this is the place to do it. This is like the building blocks of those things. You don't have those experiences on the other side. When you get to the other side, you go to a level of other souls in the same level that you're at. So everybody's in the same level spiritually that you're at. So there are many different levels. The Bible says, my Father has a house with many mansions. And that's what that means, the various spiritual levels which exist. So you get to those higher levels by using love, by utilizing love in all you do. Okay. My face is glowing because my mustache is gone, but not for long. I have seedlings in there. Okay. Hey, Marie, God bless you. My son Bradley passed in July. I miss him terribly. Please help me contact with him. Thank you very much. Marie, if you would go to my website and vanprog.com, and you would find there a resource page. And I have some incredible mediums on there. Kelly White is on the show watching right now. And there's also Janelle Campbell. There's people, and it doesn't matter where in the world they are because it'll be a Zoom reading, but they're gifted mediums who do that. I only do that when I do group readings. I do group events. I'm having one in May. If you want to join that, I can't guarantee everyone gets the message, but it certainly would help. And there's also a book that I wrote, sweetheart, called Growing Up in Heaven. And it's about children that pass over. It's not a punishment. I promise you, it's not a punishment. Many people I know, thousands and thousands, have had that experience. And many of them have said, wow, it's the most incredible experience of my life. It really taught me to grow. And now my child can help me from the other side of life, which they do. So that's Growing Up in Heaven. And the people on my website, vanprog.com, under the resources page, I have mediums, healers, and psychics that I personally recommend. Okay. Lena, I've received messages from my son and others now. Does this mean I have some mediumistic abilities? Yes, it does, Lena. And it's up to you if you want to expand those and evolve those abilities. If you put the time and patience, if you have that, if you choose to, you can, and you don't have to either. It's up to you what to decide. But remember that everybody is a certain level of mediumship in that the only difference between the soul, we're a soul in the body, they're a soul outside the body. So the only difference is this body, this physicalness. But really, they use the mind. The mind is between the physical and the spiritual. So when they use the mind, and the mind is clear and open, you're able to receive impressions from the spirit world, from those souls who know how to communicate. So that's the only difference. Yes, there are those that are born with an innate sense of mediumship and intuitive abilities, and that can be, of course, expanded upon, empowered, if you will. So it's very, very true. I want to read you a forward from Kelly White, who's watching the show, who's a very talented psychotherapist and a medium tonight. I'll read this again tonight on our show. Both is now beyond at 6. And the show tonight is all about soul power, that power within us, that essence that we're all born with. Each one is born with a different sense of essence that's really personalized to their lessons that they're going to learn. This is just a bit of the forward for Kelly's book. It is only when we begin to have a relationship with the great power within can we truly begin to fully live. With this insight, souls begin to witness the truest of realities and can utilize the unique soul self essence. The essence is individualistic to each soul, just like a fingerprint. The special facets of spiritual insight, solution, and strength needed to successfully fulfill our specific lessons on earth are incorporated into the soul essence through every lifetime and every experience we have ever had. We never come back here ill-prepared. For example, a mother who loses a child or someone who appears to have one tragedy follow another must have in their soul the essence of a spiritual superpower completely individualized to accomplish those specific lessons. It has been scientifically proven that those who have had a moderate or severe level of hardship report greater mental health and well-being. Overall, these souls have a sense of empathy for others and can deal better with tough situations. Remember, you are what you think, and action follows thought. If we use our mental creative energy negatively, the result will be a life of repeated negativity. By going within to understand the lesson behind an experience, we uncover our eternal wisdom. We are divine beings filled with a limitless capacity to love. When we do not love ourselves or refuse to bring love to others, we do not evolve as quickly as we are capable of. Every day in life, the universe offers us choices to move forward, utilizing the power of love, or stay stagnant in the grip of fear. So that's from Kelly White's new book, which we're working on getting that out. We're going to talk all about those strengths tonight and how to use them, tune into them, access them every day. So to let you know that. Also, I wanted to mention, because of St. Patrick's Day yesterday, and we celebrate all week, today is the last day of my sale that I'm having for my healing certification course. So I want to read that to you. It's really exploring your healing gifts. And healing gifts come in many different ways. I had dinner the night with a lady who said she has healing touch. So I said, so what is the difference between healing touch and Reiki and this? And then we're talking about it. She didn't know. So we discussed it. But it's important we know what that means through healing gifts. So I go all about what healing gifts are about, how to access them in this course. So St. Patrick's Day sale ends today. Use code HEAL25 to save 25% on this and the groundbreaking spiritual healer certification course. So it's a spiritual healer certification course. And then go to jvpschoolmysticalarts.com, and that's where you'll find it. And if you go there, and there it is right there on my name. Also this Friday, for all those, the reason I asked earlier that who's a student of mine, any course you've ever taken, this Friday, I'm having what are called office hours, and it's open to any student who's registered for any course. It's a free gathering, and it's at 4:00 on Friday. So we're going to place that on Facebook, and we'll email everybody who's a student. So it's a free hours for talk about anything you want. No readings, but just, questions that might come up during your studies, or a question about new courses or how to continue with your spiritual journey, whatever comes up in that conversation. That's Friday at 4:00. Open hours, office hours, we call them. So I'm doing that once a month now for all the students. I think it's a good way to connect, because I do live calls as well, but this is good for everybody who's involved in the school. So 25% off the Spiritual Healer Certification course, which is incredible. Over 45 videos, over 60 different types of lessons there. So it's very good. You can use it the rest of your life too. Okay. Aloha. Ike. 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 Okay. Hi, Cindy. Lara asks, is there any reason for souls to meet each other lifetime after lifetime? Well, Laura, why would souls come back and meet each other lifetime after lifetime on Earth? Probably to learn from each other, maybe unfinished business with each other. They love each other. All different, you have a friend down here and, friendship continues on the other side. And maybe it's somebody say, we had a great time last time. Why don't we do it again? And this time you play the boyfriend, and I'll be the girlfriend, or you be the best friend, or I'll be the mother-in-law. Take on different roles and different characters. We want to share that together. So that's pretty much why. There's an affinity that we learn. Sometimes we like to learn together. Those close friends you have in this lifetime, you met them before. Usually comes down to two hands full of people in your life. Pearl Jam is a great song. I think it's about the end of your life. It's good. Okay. Bruno Asaf De Vito. Hello from São Paulo, Brazil. Tudo bem, amigo. Tudo bem. Okay. Chris K. Are more souls, angels amongst us now than ever? Well, Chris, that's hard to say, right? So I don't know the quantitative number there, but I will say this. When things are tougher in the world, it seems as if the light beings are present. I will say I feel, and I might be totally wrong, but I don't know what you guys feel, that people are much more open now to this consciousness, this awareness. At the same time, there's a lot of division in the world, but there's also a stronger sense, I believe, of spirituality, and not religious spirituality, true spirituality. And I think that's very, very, I think it's true. I think there are a lot more light workers. I think people are finally going within and starting to really question who they are, what's going on inside them, that they're a soul. What does the soul make up? What is that all about? Which we'll talk about tonight. So, so yeah, I believe in some ways it could be, but it's hard to say, right? Patricia Swanson, why am I anxious? Patricia, why do you think you're anxious? Why do you think you're anxious? Well, what's inside you that has not been resolved? If you want to go back and take a journey, 28 days transformation, do it. Go for it. It's on the school. 28 days of transformation. You really want to take that course. You have to do it every day for 15 minutes. Okay. And it's a course that builds on the day before. But a lot of people have had anxiousness, anxiety, fear, whereas take the course and it really goes deep into childhood, some traumas, relationships in your life, values in your life. So 28 days of total transformation is really what I'm going to recommend to you. And you got to do the work, honey. Got to do that work. You got to discover that art of discovery, going down and finding out why you're anxious. You got to do that. No spiritual bypass. You got to do the work. It's presenting itself for you to go in and find out why you feel that way, right? So there's probably layers of stuff there, and it could go back to stuff you don't remember from childhood or the unconscious. So it's a wonderful opportunity for discovery. Swan, I'll be on at PM Pacific tonight for sure. Yeah, 6 p.m. tonight, Sean. You betcha. Lori, can anybody have the gift of hearing the other side, like chitter chatter or music playing? Yes, Lori, everybody is able to hear that. Now, how it can be developed is different with each person. I do believe that certain people, certain souls come in with that ability, like myself, who have that they have that ability. It's a natural ability, if you will. They're born with a strong ability of mediumship or intuitive ability. They're born with that certain makeup, right? Everybody has intuition, but like for instance, everybody's born with the ability to play the piano, but not everybody is a concert pianist. So I think that's how I look at mediumship. And I find it funny, and I disagree with a lot of my colleagues who say I'm psychic medium, because every medium is psychic. Not every psychic is a medium. So it's not a great title. Unfortunately, that's a lexicon that's went into the social understanding of what a medium, they call psychic medium. I certainly hope every medium is psychic. Otherwise, I wouldn't go to them. So every medium is psychic. Not every psychic is a medium. Two very distinct, different ways of utilizing the energy. Okay. Laura, hi, Laura. What happens if a recently departed soul doesn't want to reincarnate in order to learn new lessons? Then they won't reincarnate. They're not forced to. No one's forced to do anything. They can go to other planets and other galaxies. There are millions of galaxies. Millions. It's way beyond human comprehension. Everybody has free will. Everybody has free choice. But we get so caught up in the human drama and think human is it. Mm-mm. No. Try to be I see a lovely doggy. Try to be a dog for one day. Try to see it from their point of view. They teach us so much. What's it like to be an animal? Today I was in Home Depot and walking this guy's beautiful doggy. And I thought, wow, that dog is so advanced. I think animals are way more advanced. They come back to help us humans. What do we need to learn? What do we need to learn from our animals? Why do we have them? They're here to assist us in remembering who we are. That's unconditional love. Mickey says, have you ever been to Lilydale, New York, or heard of it? If so, how do you feel about it? Mickey, I've been to Lilydale many, many times. I used to be their summer event, their yearly summer event, big person there. And draw a lot of people, hundreds, 700, 800 people in their theater there. And I loved working there. I loved it, but I didn't like the mediumship at Lilydale because it's very mediocre mediumship. They don't expand their mediumship. It just gets to a sort of psychic, here we go again, a psychic mediumship level. They don't advance their mediumship. So it gets very stale and stagnant. And that's what I found, that no one wants to grow there. The people that run it are stuck. They're kind of stuck at a certain level and there's no expansion. And that's sad. And I went there once, the last time I was there, and I said to the audience, how many people here are having readings after they're done? And a lot of people raised their hand. I said, well, I went to a demonstration yesterday of some of the best mediums here, and they were really bad. And I said, if you go for a reading, you want at least 5 pieces of evidential information as far as whether it's, they don't have to have a name necessarily, but the personality traits, specific personality traits or character traits, they've got to come through. If not, get your money back. And I was never asked to come back, which is fine. But it's a mediocre, it's not the greatest place of mediumship. Sorry to say that. One of the better places you'll find mediumship is Omega Institute in New York. Tony Stockwell's there, Maureen Hancock goes there, and they're good mediums. They're excellent mediums. So that's where you'll find some good mediumship programs. And on my website, you'll find great mediums. And my school, we have mediumship 1, 2, and 3. So there's really good certification courses there I have. Hi, Corrine. I'm working on spiritual life coach course. Good. But I'm thinking to take another one. I don't know which one yet, psychic or mediumship. I would say psychic portals would be good for you, Corrine. Psychic portals is a very good basic, grounding, fundamental course about how to use your intuition. And even if you're advanced, going back to the basic fundamentals of grounding, of becoming aware of your own energy space, of the energy in a room. Basic exercises are always good to redo. So I'd say the psychic portals course would be really, really good. A mediumship 1 is also going to be good too. You can take 2 of them at the same time. Mediumship 1 certification is good basic mediumship grounding and fundamentals. So one of those 2. Lafayette Clark, do you see a baby in my future? And well, honey, I'm not going to see a baby in your future. I have nothing to do with your baby in your future. You got to see if you have a baby in your future. I'm not giving out babies. Not my babies. I can predict babies. I don't know. Would you want to have a baby in your future? Would you want it to be settled? So you can create what you want. So do you feel you'll have a baby? If you want to, then you can. But why do you think you won't have a baby? That's my question. And then, do you think the court thing was settled? What do you feel about that? Don't think about it. I want you to go with your heart. So here's an example, a great opportunity right now for you to go in the intuition. Intuition is the soul's language. What do you feel in your heart? First impression. That's it. You know yourself better than anybody, than even any psychic. I remember I used to go to psychic readings. These are some of the things I already knew about myself. So that is what you need to work on that. Okay. All right, my love. Remember, the universe conspires for our highest good. So get away from the human part. It's all about love and it's about learning. And things that happen the way we think they're going to happen, like 1, 2, 3, 4, not in that order. It happens the order our soul needs to learn things. But as long as we keep love in our hearts and understand there's a bigger purpose here and try to enjoy every moment, live for the moment. Past has already happened. The future is yet to be. So live for this moment right now. That's where you'll get the best out of life. At the end of your life, the end of your time on this earth, you can look back and say, wow, I lived a really successful life because I lived every single moment to the fullest. My dog Maisie taught me that. It's true. Okay. All right. Hi, Joanna. Hi, James. I help people in my work to remember who they are. Good. I love that. And why they're here. Very good, sweetheart. I lost my son to suicide 3 months ago. So he completed suicide. And I'm really struggling. Do you have any advice? Well, Growing Up in Heaven is a good book again. So I lost my son to suicide. So I work on a lot of suicides. And my friend Jordy calls it completing suicide because we don't know if that was that soul's lesson. Many times suicides are part of that blueprint that soul group has decided upon, that one of us is going to have to do complete suicide. So it'll teach others about unconditional love or forgiveness or unfinished business. What's going to, and one soul's like, I'm going to volunteer for that because that'll help me advance to the next level. And as a group. So that is something which they can never be hurt in suicide. You don't go to hell. There's no fire and brimstone. When I first wrote Talking to Heaven, I wrote hell. And it's like, God, I want to rewrite that because it's wrong from what I've learned after many years. So there's a lot of love over there. And many times it depends on the exact circumstances. So there are some souls for suicide who choose suicide or complete suicide who come back here, and they sometimes come back quicker than they should have. They have their life review when they pass over, and they go, oh, I should have done that. Oh, I should have passed that test. Oh, I should have used that more compassion. I should have kindness. And they get such a rush, they want to come back quicker than their divine time. Their free will, and their guides might say, it's not the right natural time for you to go back. There'll be a handicap. Say, but I want to get it back. I want to get back. They have free will, and they come back, and they feel like they don't fit in. And then some complete suicide. And there are other types of suicide. Depends on emotion. A lot of emotional suicides. My brother-in-law had completed suicide after his wife left him and his job was out. And then got to the side and said, oh, if I just waited, the conditions would have changed. There's all different reasons. Also mental situation where people complete suicide. Mental capacity. They might not be prepared for it. So all different things. But the most important thing with suicide, they don't get hurt. They're not hurt. They're alive. They're well. They're fine. And they're helping you out. So I'm sure they're helping you in your work to help people. No doubt about it. And maybe that's why your son completed suicide. So your work could go on further and expand it. Okay? All right, my love. Reve Reedy says, my uncle passed holding his fishing rod. I love that. Do we choose our exits? Yes. We choose our births and our exits. We choose when to be born and time to go, when we come in and when we go out. Because when we come in, that first breath activates our soul essence. And there's a time to exit as well. And no one ever dies alone. You're always met by your loved ones. They prepare for your coming over. It's a big party and reunion. And all I hear many, many times, not only when I'm doing readings for people, Evening of Spirit, I hear a lot of people love joy. It's so funny because I'll be working with people on Zoom and I hear all behind me, like people talking and laughing and joking. And it's like, they're all different people for the people on Zoom, but they're all around happy. They're all comparing stories. And it's so interesting that I think one night I should do that too. And the next one I would do is a 3-hour reading. So it'll be May and it's going to be a 3-hour event. Because we found this one on Friday. It wasn't long enough. I didn't feel it was long enough because I want to teach as well. So it'll be teaching and readings and mind journeys or meditations. So you get a lot out of it. So I just wanted to do that. I think 3 hours is going to be good. So that you'll see that on my website. Okay. Yes. So within your soul, which is tonight, Kelly White and I'm going to talk about your soul. Your whole soul's incredible strength to find your life and learning. So how do you connect with that inner part of yourself? A lot of you would be really wise to tune in tonight to see that. So I love you all, and we'll see you tonight. And thank you for tuning in. And I'm still waiting for you guys to send me some suggestions. Oh, here you go. Events. Let's see what this says. There we go. So, and remember, I'll never ask you for your information. If that does happen, there are a lot of people out there these days that are hacking people, which, again, a world I don't understand when people are dishonest. So I will never ask for anything like that. I never offer readings. So remember that. I never offer readings. So love you guys. We'll see you later. God bless and use love, not fear. Okay. Bye.